Good morning, my friends. There's some quail on the side of the road right here. Oh, and a fox running across the road too. Aren't they cute? Little quail run. That's so cool. We got to see a fox run across and a quail this morning. We're getting up and moving. Josh went to go run an errand, but he did order me some breakfast for my birthday. So I'm gonna head over to pick it up and meet him back in town, and we'll have breakfast together and get this day started. We made it. I'm gonna go run in and grab my food. Isn't that just the cutest? Ah, I love their thoughtfulness, their little cup holders. So, safety first. Good morning, girls. Good morning. So out of my original 10 girls, these are my 3 elderly survivors. We have Myrtle, Odette, and Yasha. Last weekend when my sister Lauren and her husband Rick came, they did take my 2 youngsters, Gordita and Flauta, with them back to their house. So moving into our property, we just have these three old ladies who we're gonna build a little home for. We have Odette. She is the matriarch and leader of the flock. We have Yasha, who is always broody and the fastest chicken I've ever seen and so food driven. And then we have Myrtle, who is crazy and she's that cranky old lady who's gonna live forever. And this past week, Dua, my sweet Dominic, she passed away. She was a beautiful black and white striped chicken, and instead of like a barred rock where they have that single comb that looks like fingers, she had like a flat comb. I definitely think I will get more Dominic chickens in the future. She was such a cool chicken, really good breed. They're a dual purpose breed. She laid eggs that were pink, and just really cool chicken. So I'm really sad that she passed, but you know, as they get up there in age, slowly over the past, you know, year or so, they have been passing off. The house is a mess as we're gearing up for moving, but good morning, Miss Evie. We've had a cone on her the past couple days because she's been licking where her leg broke, causing a hot spot. And so her leg has been completely healed of the break, but let's take a look at that. Can you sit? You gotta think about it. Can you sit down for me? Thank you. Let me see it. Let me see it. She knows, she's like, I'm not supposed to be licking it. Yeah, so her hair is never gonna fully grow back on that spot of her leg, but she had licked it raw where there's no hair. Yes, you did. So we had a little sore going on right there. So guess who gets to wear the cone when we're not home? I know. Are you ready to go outside? Good morning, Russell. Let's get your catio. Oh no, got a mess. Say, moving is just so messy, huh? Gotta get his catio open so he could go see the fresh air this morning. Yes. Okay, let's go outside and then we're gonna eat. Good morning, bubbies. Good morning. So this is Russell's little catio. It's literally just a dog crate with some turf and a little shelf for him to sit on. So we'll have a big upgrade at the new house. All right, birthday breakfast. Josh got classic pancakes with sausage, hash browns, and scrambled eggs, and a mocha latte. And me, what did I get? I got a turkey avocado club with a sweet sriracha sauce and a broccoli cheddar soup and a decaf pumpkin spice latte. Let's eat. So breakfast has been consumed. It was so good. That was a really sweet, good breakfast. We don't go there very often, but that's one of my favorite places in our nearby town that has breakfast. So good. It says sweetest place in town on their little coffee hand holder thing. So Josh, he is off this morning to go put in a few hours of contractor tractor work to make us some money so that we can keep on going. And I am gonna run into town to McCoy's and pick up our top coat paint for the walls so that we can finish painting. If we can finish painting today, that would be huge. It's an interesting way to spend your 31st birthday, but you know what? This is just the best gift. Getting our property that we wanted and being able to move in this weekend. I couldn't ask for anything more. So I really got to get over, jet across town, get that paint, run back out to the property, and then I am going to, excuse me, I sneeze every time I go into the sunlight. And then I am going to try to finish painting that shop so that we can get Russell and Evie moved in this weekend. Can I do it? We're about to find out. I've made it back to the property from my McCoy's trip. And let me show you the paint that we got. Every time the sunlight hits my face, I sneeze. Every time. All right, so in the daylight, I know I showed you guys last night what it looked like, but we have primed. I am gonna come in this morning before I start on the top coat, and I'm gonna cut in these corners with some primer. We just were worn out last night, but yeah, we'll come in and do some touch-ups with the primer, and then we'll start putting on our color coat over this primer. We will be trimming out the door, so things like this we didn't waste paint on because it's going to be trim. And then we also didn't waste time painting anything over here because we are going to be having hardy backer, which is like a cement board that's water resistant for the backing on the shower. And then it's going to be covered with corrugated metal as the walls of the shower. So of course, didn't paint that area. We are still working on that wall right there. I did save a little dragonfly that was in here this morning, so every day do something good. And I wanted to show you guys, this is the paint color that we went with. We did buy it as a mist tint, meaning that a lot of times when you go to a hardware store that sells paint, if somebody buys paint and then doesn't like the way it turns out, the hardware store will try to resell that paint at a discounted price as a mist tint. So since this is going to be our shop, we knew we wanted it to be just a light color, but we weren't super picky because this isn't our final, house that we're going to be living in. So we actually saved quite a bit in cost by shopping in their mist tint section. And this is going to be an off-white. It's a nice warm light color, and we thought that that would be perfect for the price. So if you're building on a budget, that is a tip that I would throw out there. If you need to paint something, before you go and pick out your color, go check out their mist tint section. Sometimes there's some really beautiful colors that maybe were just a shade off of what the customer wanted, and it is brand new paint that's just as good. Another thing that hardware stores might let you do, talk to them about it, is if you find a color that's either a little too dark or too light, but similar to what you want, they might be able to throw some white in there or some black in there to lighten or darken it up if it's already a mist tint. So that's something to talk to them about. They might work with you on it. We liked it the way it was and just picked it up and bought it as a mist tint, and now we are going to paint our shop. I cut in the trim on the corners of all of our walls, and there's some areas where we are leaving less attention to detail because we will be putting in some trim and molding, so we didn't want to spend a lot of time and effort painting things that are going to be covered up with trim. But now I am going to start on the actual color coat. It looks really good. I mean, for very low mist tint price, we will take this vanilla milkshake color. Doesn't that look really nice? So I'm gonna go ahead and start putting it on this wall first. While I'm painting this wall, Josh is foaming up to the top on the back side because this is where our mini split is gonna go. We're hoping that we can get air conditioning in here by tonight. So I'm gonna get started painting. He's gonna meet me on the other side doing foam. We'll meet in the middle, and then hopefully once this paint dries and the foam's all up there, we can go ahead and put our mini split air conditioning unit in this wall right here. I am going to time lapse this, you guys, me painting, because while I am painting, Josh and I are jamming out to some good music. We're listening to Lance Carpenter, Keith Urban, some Kane Brown. There's all my birthday wishes coming in. Thank you guys, whoever's reached out to me today on my birthday. But while we're jamming out, listening to some good old country music, you guys sit back and enjoy this time lapse right now. All right, that first wall is done, and I don't know if it conveys on the camera, but it's a really pretty, almost like an off-white eggshell color. You can see the difference between the primer and the top coat. It's so much smoother, even coating, and I think the primer shows a lot of darkness coming through. You could still see the lines on the wall through the paint, and it's really rough, and this nice and evens it out, and I think it's looking really good so far. Very neutral color for our shop, but we like the bright light that helps the space look bigger. Okay, you guys are going back to time lapse because I'm gonna get back to Randy Rogers and Wade Bowen, and who are we listening to right now? And Kenny Chesney. All right, stay tuned. Wall 2. So 2 paint trays of paint got all the way around to here. And so now Josh and I are gonna go take a lunch break, and we'll come back and get the mini split put in once the paint dries, and I'll keep painting. As Josh was moving our pile of OSB, he did find a little frog. And so I ended up moving him from that area where he could get stepped on to under the house and the safety where he could have some moisture. So that felt like a great productive morning. We're gonna return to the property here in just a second for you guys. But yeah, it's about 12:30. We're gonna run to the house, let the dog out, and grab some lunch. I'm not a very good multitasker, you guys. I literally, if I'm doing like anything besides talking to you guys, I'm just like squirrel. Let me turn this on, get us cooling off. It is a hot day today. I can't wait for us to get that mini split in, because then we can start working in the AC. I think it's gonna be in like the mid 90s today, and it's already pretty hot in that shop. And I know working outside, putting on the foam, was hot for Josh as well. So here quickly, I know he's already heading over. I'm gonna meet him at the house so we can take the little car into town to grab lunch instead of pulling his trailer all the way through town. I just wanted to show you guys the foam that he did. So he went all the way up to the roof with the foam. So this side right here is ready to stucco, and the reason that he went ahead and did the foam today was so that he can get the mini split put in without having to try to foam around that obstacle. We will stucco around that. Okay, I'm leaving for real. We're going to lunch. Y'all will see us back in a second, but we will be back probably in about an hour by the time we go into town grab food, rendezvous. Look at that dust devil. I don't know if y'all can see it. Right outside the front drive. Dust devil, it looks like a little tornado, but it's just a swirling around of wind with dust carried around through. All right, we'll see you in a second. We are back on the property. It is now late afternoon. We took a little bit longer break than we thought we were. We were thinking maybe an hour into town to grab lunch and then come back. But here we are about, what time is it? We left at about 12:30 and we are going on 6 o'clock. Okay, so we're planning on continuing getting the mini split set up to be installed so that we can have air conditioning here in the shop, and I am going to push on and try to finish painting the walls and see how far I can get with the floors tonight. We do want to do one more coat of primer on the floors before putting the porch and floor paint down to seal those floors as their final coat. We did run into town to a local sandwich shop and had an amazing lunch there. I will include a picture here. And then after that, Josh's mom and our friend Cece drove up into town to spend some time with us for my birthday. We had an amazing time with them. They shared some gifts and we went to a local ice cream shop and had some ice cream for my birthday, and it was so good to spend some time with them. They did come up to the property. We got to give them a little shop tour, hang out for a little bit, and now we are gonna get back to work. They did just leave, and I wanted to show you guys the most precious and amazing gift that Josh got me for my birthday. This is something I've been wanting for a really long time, and here it is. He got me a manual flour mill. So I can make flour for cooking and baking and eating with this mill. It does still need a little bit of assembly, but we'll be able to put beans and dried seeds in here, grind them, and we can do, you know, spices, we can make flour, you could even grind coffee, and it is so cool. And it has different settings like fine to coarse, and it goes in the top and comes out as a flour. So that's super cool. We can make cornmeal, we can grind, you know, amaranth seeds. If we ever grow wheat, we can make our own flour. And one thing that I'm really excited to try is I did harvest a bunch of mesquite pods on the property right here from these mesquite trees that we have abundantly growing on the property. And I am going to throw these into the flour mill and make a gluten-free sweet flour that's great for baked goods. I've seen recipes for pancakes and breads, and mesquite is really sweet and a really healthy choice for making bean flour. And so that's something that we're going to do to use a resource that we can forage here on the property and turn it into a finished baking product. So now it is crunch time. We did lose a few hours this afternoon, but we gained a lot of great community and fellowship. So we're gonna get back to it and see how far we can get today. So I've got my pan filled back up. We're ready to keep on painting. And Josh is working on getting the mini split put in. And you can see we got a hole going out the wall, so we have light coming in, and he has his bracket on. The mini split does come with a template that helps you figure out how to put that bracket on there, and you actually want the bracket not to be completely level so that the condensation can drain off. If it's level, you will run into issues, but of course this isn't a how-to, but we're just letting you know if you notice, hey, that's not level. It's not supposed to be. So Josh is gonna be working on that, and I'm gonna be working on paint. to share with you guys, it is kind of funny that, you know, of course we're going a inexpensive route of using OSB as our interior walls instead of doing sheetrock and floating out the edges to make them really smooth. With sheetrock, oftentimes you'll come back and texture it and then paint over it. With the OSB, one, it's going to be easier to nail in shelving and things like that going into the OSB wood versus like sheetrock, but also the OSB comes pre-textured with a natural wood grain finish. You can see the texture on the walls. So look at that, we didn't even have to texture it. Already comes textured. Can't get better than that, and it's cheaper. So, granted, this is our shop. In the future, when we build the house, we may do sheetrock in the house, but we just thought that that was kind of cool. Already comes textured. And fast forward to this evening. So now it is after 8 o'clock in the evening. You can see sunset has passed. And we have finished painting all of the top coat except for cutting in the corners and around the windows. So tomorrow when I come in the morning, I am going to paint the corners. We're going to paint up near the ceiling, maybe do some touch-ups with the ceiling paint on areas where I maybe hit the ceiling with our top coat for the wall paint. So we'll get all of this all cleaned up and looking pretty. Coming into the bathroom, we are going to finish the insulation and getting this ready. We'll bring the washing machines, get those installed where they're going to be. We have a washer and dryer that are going to be stackable right there. And then what I'm going to do is Josh and I are going to clear out all of this stuff that's in the middle, all of our tools and supplies and extra things that are in the way. Some of this stuff is going in the bathroom, like our dryer, washer. This is our toilet right here. The insulation's gonna go on the walls in the bathroom. So these 3 big items are gonna go in the bathroom. Our scaffolding and all of our tools are gonna be cleared out. And then we have more supplies like paint supplies, you know, screws for the, so we'll get this all cleaned up. And then from there, we are going to give these floors a thorough cleaning. I'm gonna go in with a round of primer, and then we'll come back and put in our porch and floor paint. So we have a lot to do tomorrow. Our plan is that tomorrow evening, if everything goes well, if everything goes according to plan and schedule, that maybe we can move Russell, the kitty cat, and Evie, our puppy dog, in, and then we will start moving in on Sunday, and then the rest of this week after work we will be moving, and hopefully by next weekend we can be cleaning the duplex, get it reset and ready to go for us to be moved out by the 1st, which is going to be 11 days from now. So we continue. I say it's crunch time. Every day is crunch time. We, you know, essentially by Monday, today is Friday, by Monday we will have 30 days since we started this project. So essentially, this is a 30-day build on this shop. This build from start to finish, each step of the way, is documented in a series here on my channel. So if this is the first video you're watching in the series, go check it out from start to finish. And we are almost there, not quite yet. We got a couple more videos to come out for us to get moved in and shop build complete. So stay tuned, like this video, subscribe, that way you can stay up to date with everything going on here at Reachin Reverie. And thank you so much for watching today. We are gonna head home, call it a night, enjoy the rest of this evening on my birthday. We're gonna just kick back, relax, and have a nice slow evening. And then tomorrow we're gonna get back up early and get back at it so we can get moved in. And this was such a wonderful day, a worthy birthday, and I think that, you know, this is one of the best gifts I could have asked for. So we're making it happen. Josh does have this set in place in here, and then on the outside, we'll show you guys that in the next video. He has it getting all set up, all of the exterior parts. It looks like we need to run into town when the hardware store opens to get one piece, a coupling to tie it into our electric panel, and then we can get this thing up and going. Tomorrow he is going to, what he calls run the vacuum, get this all ready to go, and then we're gonna have some air conditioning, heating and cooling in here, so we're excited for that.